Good morning, everyone. And it's my pleasure to join you all at ETCIO BFSI Digital Conclave 2023. It's a pleasure to hear Mr. Parveen Gupta, and he narrated a very nice story about last 40 years of banking evolution. Right? And topic of my presentation is actually where the industry is growing in next 3 to 5 years. And the title which I gave to my session is the financial services for the next billion users. We heard Amol talking about in his welcome note, and I just noted down, actually he uttered billion word at least 10 times in his speech. And that is about how many clicks are happening on the website, or let's say about the younger population and various other aspects, right? So when I talk about this, right, so some data points, World Bank published a report December 2022, and they said that there is a total banking population has reached to 2.5 billion across the globe. And there will be addition of another billion in next 3 to 5 years. Majority of that will be coming from the Asia countries, with a major pie coming from India and China. And that's the topic which has interested me, because at Google, I think we have at least 10 applications which we all use on day-to-day basis, be it a search engine or maps or YouTube or the Google Drives or the Google Mail or Chrome. At least 10 of them has already crossed 10 billion user concurrency. And I'm going to talk about how BFSI industry is going to address the next challenge. I think all of us sitting here, how we're going to take the major pie of that next billion users coming to banking in next 3 to 5 years. Some data points from India perspective and the Indian demographic perspective. I think when we split the users that which are coming to banking in next 3 to 5 years, there are 4 large buckets. The first buckets, and we call them affluent. Many of in this forum are part of that bucket, up to 50 to 70 million of them. And all of us actually look for the quality in terms of, let's say, quality of wealth management services, quality of hyper-personalization, right? So that bucket of the 50 to 70 million users. The next bucket is the digital native users, close to 100 million of them. Digital savvy users, open to anything which is offered from computer as advice. We heard a word of ChatGPT. I think many of those people in this bucket are already started experimenting something around ChatGPT. They are open for any kind of innovations. The interesting area should be for all of us are the next 2 buckets. The 200 million bucket, which is, let's say, and I call that as a hunter bucket. The characteristic of that bucket is, let's say, that bucket is very sensitive about the vernacular languages they speak. Like the largest customer segment, which demand for localized, low-cost banking solutions. And then there is because in India we have a still large part to grow, the next bucket of close to 700 million users, which are yet to become the part of new to internet. But they will be moving to the new to internet bucket in next 2 to 3 year times. So our focus should be on that 200 million plus 700 million users from our next business target perspective. Right? I'm going to talk more about scale and not about the optimization. Hence my speech for next 10 minutes will be about that. Right? So briefly about the top bucket, which I spoke about, affluent users or let's say digital native users, they care for 4 things. So when we talk about your next business growth, you should be focusing on these 4 areas. One is as how easy or easy to use tool you can offer to them, how much insight you can offer to them in your solutions which you are proposing, right? And how flexible your services are, right? But the interesting piece is this one, the biggest bucket which I spoke about, the 200 plus and the one which is coming here, are the 3 important characteristics, right? So they are looking for vernacular ways of talking to them. They are looking for low-cost mobiles and low-cost network. They may not be even using the mobile devices which has got higher compute power, larger storage, or they may be even sitting in the areas where the network is very low. So we need to try and serve them in a more effective manner. And the last bucket, right? So there are many transactions happening on the mobiles in the conversational way. The very interesting piece here is that this user is not typing. They are not even actually scrolling. They're talking to their devices. They prefer voice, they prefer videos. And we're going to talk about those users, how to capture larger pie of that segment so that we can actually be part of that next billion financial user community. Right? With that, again, we also captured their preferences, and their preferences are very interesting, right? So they wanted to have a better professional growth, they wanted to have better education and learning. At the same time, they're talking about better financial independence and stability. So the product we are going to talk about, which should be around their financial stability, growth, covering those aspects, right? So now, successful visionary FSI players in country and let's say in Asia already talking about 3 areas to capture these scales, right? Area number 1 is about offering the customer or increasing the customer ownership by going in the embedded finance way. How can you offer your product or your financial solutions in a non-financial way or non-financial approach, right? Second is about go and think beyond your balance sheet ideas, right? Think about innovation. And third area is the tech-enabled innovation too and fast go-to-market. When it comes to Google, right? So we have at least 3 solutions, right? Covering those 3 areas. First is the embedded finance. And the simply put, embedded finance is nothing but offering financial product or financial solutions in a non-financial way, a non-financial product, right? So I think it's simple reference is about when you are on IRCTC site, you book a rail ticket, and when you actually complete your transaction, the first link come to you is about, do you want to buy the insurance for this, right? So you are selling, somebody selling insurance on a non-financial, let's say, website or portal. That's a way of embedding the financial services in a non-financial way, right? And for that, again, why this is important for us and why I put that in the first bucket, because in next 3 or 5 years, right? So this market is going to grow to $230 billion, right? In this place itself, where we are covering. And again, if you see there are 4 buckets which are prioritized for covering the embedded finance. Topmost is about payments, and then insurance, then customer lending, and the wealth management. So your solution should be around these areas to grow and target on embedded finance. You can actually cover many more, but I'm just giving you the view that how can you capture quickly that new customer is coming to you, right? And how, I think there are also defined use cases, and you can think about there are 3 different type of buckets, right? So one is about bringing your product and serving beyond the bank. And bank is one example. You can be part of any financial institutions. It can be insurance, it can be payment, it can be lending, right? So, but offering your product in a non-financial services. Classic example is, let's say, offer instant loan or pay now, buy now, pay later, right? So Amol actually used a very nice anecdote there, but on that, let's say when you're on e-tail site or e-commerce site and checking out, how can you offer those products and actually make your customers there from the financial product perspective, right? Second is about providing other products and services onto your bank, right? So the other way around, right? So let's say bringing, let's say, financial calculators or it's some kind of advice on finance, right? So which is collaborated from the other players, from non-banking players, and offering that on your app or your website. And third was about sharing the data across financial and the non-financial organization. Right? So for example, using data which is available to do a better, let's say, credit decisioning for your customers. Right? Second way of actually doing that. So first was to embedded finance is to go and capture the net new customers which are not of yours. This is about customer data platform is all about making that top 1 and 1A affluent customers retaining with you by offering them a very, very personalized service, right, which is not possible earlier. And here, what is required is a first-party data of that customer and the third-party data of the customer. For example, what kind of websites he is using, what kind of shopping he is doing on e-commerce website, right? So what are his preferences? And then relate that data to bring out what is the best way you can actually go and offer him the personalized service. Example is the next best action, right? So at Google, we have data available on, let's say, on what kind of ads they are seeing, what kind of website they are actually using, what kind of devices they are using, and you can predict, okay, when the user is on, let's say, on internet, right? So what would be the next action? Do you want to actually offer him a loan? Do you want to offer him, let's say, insurance? Do you want to offer him some, let's say, credit coupons, right? And what reaction he has made after seeing that. It also captures that what is the next action he has made. And then it gives the feedback, and it keeps learning from that and makes you, let's say, do a offer which will be irresistible by that user. So trying to make, let's say, more and more out of that customer, give him the customized offer so that he should not feel that, okay, why I'm getting 10, let's say, this kind of offers. Give me something which is more relatable to me, right? So, and of course, in Google, we can offer this because of the, let's say, we have various platforms, right? So YouTube or Maps or search engine, and we have data, and we can actually correlate that better way and help you do that. And the third and last one is about super apps. We all heard about this. This is the best way to cater both the segments, affluent segments and the new to internet user segments, right? Wherein in an app, simply you can offer maximum services. In a single app, you're offering banking, insurance, payment, credit cards, or let's say in the investment advice, and anything related to that, right? So, and here, why? Because the clear data which available to us, right? So any of those bankers, let's say 30% executives are saying that most of the business will be happening from the super apps by 2025. And we should be starting on our strategy on super apps, right? So, and again on super apps, why you should be even talking about Google, because here we have enough experience of building platforms to talk about consumers and their business. And enough data points are already gathered on that, right? So we can help you to build a platform which is scalable. And when we talk about billion scale, we already have, let's say, 10 products which are running at billion scale, which is always available, which is always secure, right? And because financial services security is the most important piece. So how can you actually build that piece? Then there are, let's say, a lot of first-party and third-party data which can be leveraged to build a better offer to them. And your super app can actually give the much better experience to them. For example, let's say I just give one tech piece also, right? So Google can also bring the tech piece there about integrating with the wearable, integrating about the barcode, or bring the voice piece, because those 200 million users we are going to target are vernacular users. So they are looking for, let's say, instant translation, or they are wanting the communication in their language, or they are wanting more about coming from the voice or videos. What I told you, they don't want to type, they don't want to even tap, they want to speak to those devices, to this banking, right? So, and all that is possible by integrating technology which Google can bring to your super apps, right? So, just to summarize what I spoke so far, there are 3 ways you can actually start thinking about getting the pie of those next billion users. First, it's getting embedded finance play right for you. Make your product available on non-banking platform so that you can attract the next billion users which is coming to you. Make customer, let's say, make your services with your customer data platform more and more personalized so that you can retain the customer who are already on the platform, and build the super apps to actually offer more and more from your platform. Again, and why Google? Because I think we have a larger ecosystem, we have a larger experience of driving this, and we have a larger technology backbone. We can actually give you a larger benefit when you actually addressing Twitter. With that, I'll just actually conclude my session, and looking forward to see you all in next sessions. Thank you.